Hey, 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 welcome back. Welcome back to the Virgo channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to my channel, I'm going to do a general message for Virgo. Know that energy is fluid, worlds could be reversed. Just interpret the message as it best resonates with you. Also, know on this channel, I like to dive deep within the reading. I look at everything, but we take time to look at the spiritual blocks, the shadows, and to see how they play out as karmic themes, help you understand why the relationship's playing out the way that it is, why the dynamic of the connection is what it is. A lot of times we get stuck in ruminating and we're connected to someone that we really truly have feelings for, but we're not happy in the connection. And we want to know whether or not we can actually shape shift that energy, right? And all the time we can, because guess what? There's many different realities that play out at one time. So these readings are healing. They're not just prediction readings. And I say that because you're the alchemist of your life. You get to choose. And so a lot of times we don't know that we have a choice to actually get what we want. Sometimes we don't see what we need to do in order to integrate the spiritual lessons. See, our relationships are that they teach us. Then there's always a lesson when it comes to any soulmate. They come in for a day, a season, a lifetime, but they're always coming in to teach you something about yourself, something about the world, something about your perception. All right, anything of any importance or relevance in the channel you can find in the description box. Don't forget, give the gift of healing Otter Spirit. They have some beautiful crystal bracelets. I can't show you the jade because it's going to go into the background, but you can see the colors are really beautiful. And all different types of stones. We have amethyst here, and we have black and white. I think it's jasper. And then we have lava stone, we have citrine, and all these are beautiful stones. And you can mix and match. I purchased all the ones to bring money and success. Like because I always talk about love. I was like, you know what? I want to bring abundance. But the best stones for abundance would be pyrite, which is fool's gold, citrine, green aventurine. These stones are good for the heart chakra, but I mean, that's these, but these stones for the holidays, again, we got citrine, and that's the solar plexus. And why it's good is because only in the now do we get divine guidance. So we have to have confidence. That's our personal power center. That's our boundary center, like when something's off, or again, when we're getting that divine guidance. So we have to be grounded, which lava stone is for grounding. Pyrite is for grounding. So pyrite and lava stone work with the root chakra to make us feel protected, strong. They make us feel connected to the earth. And then when we're connected to our body, we're connected to the earth, which means we're not in our head. And so, which is really important because we have to be present and in the moment to feel the energy of that solar plexus when it does that gut internal knowing. We have to be strong enough for that. And then you see again a amethyst stone that works with the third eye, but the green aventurine, what you'll see is works with the heart chakra. So it's about giving and receiving of love. And if you have a closed heart chakra because you have gone through traumatic experiences, well, guess what? Money is you see that there will be a lack within money because money has no energy except for the energy that you give it. So give the gift of healing this holiday season. You can mix and match. There's beautiful different stones on the website. You get 35% off. And an additional 15% goes to saving the otters, which it's a win-win-win. It's again, especially if you want to do something really kind this holiday season, not for anyone except for conservation. It's a great gift. All right. Also, check out my other products. I have books, I have my Oracle system, and a lot of other good things. All right. let's jump in and see what is the underlining energy of the video. Let's see, let's see, let's see. So the underlining energy is perseverance, perseverance. And let's, and criticism. Well, you know what? I feel like you've come into your own at this point, meaning like you're getting strong within yourself. Like you're not going to let anybody tell you, what you can and can't do, and that you're trying to accomplish something right now, whether it's within a career, whether it's again within like creating some big element of your life, which is why I felt career. But it could be anything in life, like trying to have a baby. It could be anything. And so where people in your life are having an opinion of what you're doing, how you're doing it, why you're doing it, and they're really judging you because they don't understand you. And so it doesn't matter. It's like you've gotten to a point where I say that you're coming into your own, like nothing is stopping you, that you're being true to yourself. And believe me, I feel like you have gotten hit with everything where that could be there was a death, then, friends falling out of your life. Or it could have been like, again, just friends falling out of your life that looked like a death, right? It's a death of a friendship. It was the foundation of who you thought that you were at one point is just like no longer there. And so I feel like, you know, there was a lot of changes in your life. So it could again been a death. It could have been a like a change, like not having friends, a change of job, moving, and then like dealing with people that didn't see your vision, don't understand who you are. And so this is a reoccurring theme in your life, which makes you feel separated from other people, right? So we can only give and receive of love when we feel, safe and connected. And so obviously with criticism, there's a sense of I don't feel safe. Again, triggering fear. But I feel like what's happened is that you became very like somebody that's been really focused on yourself at this point. So almost to a point where it's like self-obsession, but it's not because you're like, oh, I'm so vain, I'm so ego. No, that's how people a lot of times have triggered you. They have criticism about what you're doing, who you are, for no reason. You might be like, other people have more than I do, and their life is better than my life. But they criticize everything that I do. So if I have, then I have too much. If I don't have, then there's something wrong with me. It's again, they just how you perceive that people perceive you. And so it always puts you in a place of fear, which is, obviously from being like too much, thinking about, am I okay? What am I doing? What am I doing? Is it okay? Are the other people pleased by it? So remember, our environment creates our reality. So if you're someone that was always, you know, a little bit different, did things differently, and a lot of people that are tactile people, meaning they're clairsentient people, they do things by feeling. It's not a logical like way. It's logical through doing, through seeing, through actual like the actual process of doing. And so people criticize everything that you do because they don't understand why you do what you do or how you do what you do. And anything that people don't understand, they don't like. So it's just been like a reoccurring theme, but I feel like you're persevering regardless. of it. It's just that you're also aware that it's affecting you. It's affecting you because, hey, people don't wish you well. And that's what you feel. And they don't wish you well because they don't understand you. And so let's see, how is it playing out within your relationships, and then we'll look and see how that is playing out within your finances. So we're doing a little bit different reading, possibly because I'm doing a live reading like in a little while. So Spirit wants to make sure that the readings aren't gonna be too much similar. So let's see again how it's playing out within your relationship. Well, it's again, you saw rose-colored glasses, like seeing people for better than who they are, and then seeing yourself as less than due to people's criticism, right? So if people can, project who they want you to perceive that you are, and if you're around those people for long periods of time, well, it's your environment that creates your reality because your perceptions are that. You're not around those people anymore. So the rose-colored glasses came off. You were able to see what was true. And that goes for this person. And they are ashamed of how they treated you because guess what? They thought that you were going to react differently. They thought obviously they weren't paying attention, didn't think I feel like this person didn't see you for who you are, didn't didn't just, was cocky. And due to the fact that you gave this person time and energy and you were kind to them and they could feel that you liked them and they could feel that connection, they felt like that was like gonna be enough for a relationship. So they didn't give anything. And if anything, they were nasty. They continually like almost put obstacles in the way of the connection. And so we'll see how those obstacles played out. But really, Spirit saying is right, Brent, now this person wishes that they could fix things between you and them. And it's because, listen, I feel like you see this person for who they are. So it's almost like, and you're going to persevere regardless of what happens with you and this person. You don't care. And I feel like this person is part of the people that are criticizing what you're doing because they want to affect you. So, hey, listen, you might be like a coach and they may not like the fact that you're a coach or the way that you teach or the way that the way that you hold yourself. Maybe you're someone in the public eye and this person is triggered at the fact that you are in the public eye and that you get noticed. So they're criticizing like and nitpicking you, but not really because there's a problem, is because they want people to perceive you that way. They're also around people that see you that way or talk to people that see you that way. So it's like, it's almost like, who do you think that you are? Where here it is, it's like you see this person for who they were. And so the rose-colored glasses came off. And so now, like I said, this person, like, I feel like is seeing a different narrative of you, which is beyond, the criticism that they were around people that criticized you. They chimed along with it, and again, because they lost control of you, but now they're actually like admiring it. They're actually seeing it from a different perspective because really you're being true to yourself. At the end of the day, you don't care what other people think. This person cares a lot about what other people think when we're talking about relationship and when we're talking about, you know, you persevering through the fact of others' opinions, when meanwhile this person was chiming along with people that you knew, but they that weren't really your friends, were frenemies or acquaintances. And so this person was easily able to keep tabs on you. And so, again, birds of a feather flock together. People talking about you, they're not going to, they're not strong enough to say, well, I admire that person too. And also at the time, you were triggering them. Now that, hey, you're not coming back, you're persevering, you don't care, you're moving on, the rose-colored glasses came off, you're not going to feed this connection anymore. Well, it's like this person seeing, well, you don't care. You don't care like about what anyone thinks. And there's a freedom in that, that there's a strength in that, that people may not like what you do, but they respect you because you do, because you're a believer, because you're passionate, because you show up. So they might not understand what you do or how you do it or why you do it, but they can feel. Again, and the one to feel, that's the God inside. That's what they can feel, the passion. And that's what allows you to be determined to succeed, regardless of the perceptions and the shade that people throw. So again, where I feel like this person starts arguments when they get irritated just so that you'll soothe them. Okay? So this is a person that's an attention whore. If they're not going to get the nurturing, which means that they're not putting energy into their passion, they're not determined on anything. They're out of balance there. That just tells you that. Because, someone that is going to be very angry and very triggered in the fact that you're doing what you want to do. Remember that. And so, what happened is over time, this person has a lot of resentment inside of them from past experiences, but they created a lot of resentment with inside of you because, hey, they never worked through anything. It's again, they don't want to really be on a equal give and take reciprocity type of relationship. What they want is for you to give them energy, and that comes in the form of emotionally, sexually, physically, any which way. Again, but they're not looking at you as a person. And I say that because, hey, every time that you have a problem or you needed this person to show up emotionally, you know, they would never be there. They withdrew, and so and knowing that that would create anxiety, right? Knowing that that would create anxiety. So it's again, you just felt like this person had a lot more time and everything else was a lot more important, which is the facade and the illusion that this person was trying to create. And they kept doing it. It's not like you didn't tell them. You just were like, I felt like I had already gone through it. Like it just kept happening because they weren't willing to change. They're an avoidant. Like is again, so they're like you're in a one-sided relationship that if ever there's a problem, well, they're not going to be there. If you need them to show up because it's a birthday, it's a holiday, it's a death, it's a whatever, they're not showing up. They sabotage the connection, so it does create a lot of resentment. It creates a lot of arguments. It creates a lot of toxicity where you're like, I see who you are. You're a very selfish person. And so that's the issue. And so again, it's all about them consuming you and them like just never really having true intentions. Okay, like that's what it is. And it's like because they don't really know. They want what they want when they want it, but they look at relationships as like something that needs to like fulfill them. If they're attracted to the person and they get along with the person, it's okay, but they don't really feed the relationship the way that a relationship needs to be nurtured. I mean, when you are with a person through difficult times, when there's a death, when there's or if, good times, a birth, um an anniversary, a party, anything, you're creating intimacy. You're the person showing off you, you're creating memories, you're creating a strong bond. This person doesn't have that. They create attachments. attachment style. And it's all where the person that they're with is consumed with them because they give so little. And the thing is that at one time when you met this person, you gave a lot because I feel like that's who you are, but you also weren't 100% giving to yourself. Now you've been giving to yourself, and that's making a way where there is no way. And that's why this person is, again, all of a sudden has like their butt in knots, because they know their butt in knots. But again, they're all up in their head, because like I said, it's they see, well, you're feeding yourself. You're not caring. Nothing's going to stop you. And remember, the universe always falls in love with a stubborn heart. And it always sides with the underdog. Remember that. So this person's created like too many barriers from the past, and they try and protect themselves, and really, it affects them from growing. So the fact that you would grow and evolve and move on, it would be a problem for this person. They can't know that they can't come in and just get you, caught up, swept away, in the romance, because you're not going to do that. They know that. So there's no other way for them to come in except for emotionally. And it's like forcing this person, like I said, to feel like, well, I don't want to miss my chance. But the truth of the matter is that you can't trust this person. It's like they have hidden intentions, and they keep saying, Spirit saying, look beyond the romance, discern the true intention. It's an illusion. They'll come in and they'll pretend that they want this relationship, but they don't want the relationship. They want to make a mockery out of you because, hey, it's like it's irritating to them that you're in this power, that you have this power, that you're able to sustain yourself, that you don't need this person. And so it tells you everything about where they are, and that, it's a very toxic person. And so if you grew up with someone like that, well, understand it's, that like that's the trauma that needs to be integrated. Or if you dated a person that was like that, where you're like, they're very vindictive, like they, anything that was mine, they tried to like squash or ruin. I wasn't allowed to have anything, is kind of like the karmic theme that I'm feeling. Again, this person plays dumb to try and keep you consumed because the truth of the matter is they're emotionally unavailable. So they want what they want, but they don't want, destiny to take you down two different roads, and they know. So you're setting up boundaries, and that makes it very difficult for this person because they can't really process their emotions. So they get mad, and they know that they were being selfish. They know they wanted a one-sided relationship. And I feel like right now you're focused on yourself and your healing. And that is why this person has a lot of, anxiety. It's like it's about control. It's about dominance. It's about that with this person. It's like the fact that you're moving on, that they don't have that because, hey, the rose-colored glasses came off, their mask slipped off, you see who they are. You're not gonna let anything stop you. This person can see that. That's the anxiety. It's the anxiety of that. It's almost like people having anxiety about you having a good life, like stepping into a new life almost. People are criticizing you, saying, well, no, you're not deserving of that, judging you because of their own healing, projecting their wounds onto you because again of their own healing that they need to do for themselves. And at this point, what you're realizing is, I'm doing me. I don't care if I do things differently. You don't like the way that I do them. I don't care. It's like you will see the unfoldment process because I'm not moving me God is moving me, and that's what you know. You know that spirit is working through you, that the universe is like making a plan to not just help you succeed, but to help restore you how you see yourself due to how your environment has always seen you, which is defective, not good enough, not worthy, again, keeping you small so that, hey, they can feel so powerful and feel, entitled and feel, like again, wear the mask that they want to wear is what spirit's saying. It's like, so we heal from being able to see a different outcome of our situation. That's how we heal. Otherwise, we can't. We relive the same experiences over and over and over again. One, two, three, four, and you don't want that. Five, six. All right. Let's see. What are the energies? Okay, card number one is innocence. Okay. Unworthy. We've been getting that one a lot lately. Love, discipline, water, neglect, and grounding and nature. All right. So let's move these out of the way because I have a ton of cards. See, like just a stack of cards. Like, all right. I need to move out of the way. Okay. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Okay, seven. All right. So Spirit saying, well, obviously neglect and unworthy. Like you're not deserving of growing up with a parent that made you feel unworthy. So if anything like was something that you were happy about, excited about, this person would ignore it. If you had any accomplishments, if you ever, this person wouldn't, again, they pretended that you were non-existent. And it's a psychological and an emotional abusive thing to do to a child to make them seem unseen, unworthy, not deserving of love, really, not deserving of love. And so that played out with how it affected your second chakra, which is the water element. It's also the emotional element. And so, when a child is you know, having their unique unfoldment process, it's they find themselves and they find themselves through their way. And I feel like you had a parent that judged the way that you did things, the way that you thought, the way that you felt. And anytime that anything good would actually happen for you, this person would actually sabotage it. So I feel like this was a parent, like a mother, that would do this. So obviously, you grew up in a place where you were not really present, you were not grounded. This is outdoors nature. Sorry, the green screen is affecting it, but it's outdoors in nature, and it's means that, we don't feel connected to other people. We don't feel connected to the world. We weren't connected to our physical body because again, we were up in our head in survival mode, like worried about whether or not the bully is going to sabotage what we're trying to create for ourselves, whether that's criticizing, gaslighting, or deliberately trying to ruin. So it affected the innocence of you. So again, children are innocent. They don't look at the world as if, the world's a dangerous place, but you did because your parent programmed you to because you felt not safe. And what you saw was that you weren't safe. So you weren't really disciplined in creating yourself, finding yourself, or even being able to learn that well in school because you were in survival mode. And when you're in survival mode, the brain like acts very much like it's ADHD because when you are in survival mode and you can't run away from a parent because they're abusive, you check out. You disassociate, and being that you disassociate, you're no longer in your body. You're no longer connected to your body. You're in survival mode. And so, like, the brain is not in a place where it's able to learn. what happens is the amygdala swells and the memory becomes very affected. So school was difficult for you. And this person, again, that raised you, judged you over the fact of how you learned, but they contributed to why you learn the way that you learn because you grew up in that environment. So it's again, you were not disciplined. And so you were living from the narrative that someone else gave you because you weren't allowed to have your unique unfoldment process. You had that unfoldment process of what that parent wanted you to have, which was not fair, which was, again, a very distorted reality, one that showed you how angry and resentful that parent was of just life. You know, that's what spiritual disease looks like when a parent is that angry because they feel that a parent or someone in their life affected their life to the point that they have to make someone else's life worse. So what they're going to do is they're going to choose a person that they feel that they can do that to, and that's going to be their child. So you wind up becoming like a trigger for your parent because you're having your unique unfoldment process and it's like, well, this parent felt like they weren't allowed theirs, so why should you have yours? And so it's hurt people, and when trauma isn't healed and integrated, that's what it can look like. That's why I call it spiritual disease. That's not what God made. That's what the world or someone in the person's environment created. So you almost fell prey to the same thing. And so this person's a karmic test, that would come into your life and to do the same exact thing, terrorize you almost, make you feel not safe, to put you back into that energy of disempowerment, where spirit says you have to learn to release control. You're divinely protected to go with the flow of life through the passion for life and envision brighter horizons. Because again, you are not your past. You're not the same person of your past. So be true and continue, live authentically and boldly, live out loud. Don't try to fit in because hey, the world doesn't need that. The world needs you to be uniquely you. Just follow your heart. When you follow your passion, well, then you attract the right people into your life, not karmics. This person is definitely a karmic. Spirit says, go into the unknown because guess what? You got learned. You learned. And that's why you had to go through this experience to learn who you are, that you're a powerful person. No one can stop you. Yes, that parent stopped you. That parent sabotaged you. But they also made you very psychic to be able to create your life. So now when people try to stop you, they can't because you're connected to the higher self. That's the gift that came from that trauma because there is always a gift that comes from trauma. We just need to see it. We need to find it because again, many different realities that play it at one time. Everything is a mindset, right? So let's see what spirit wants. Affirmation, listen to yourself and acknowledge your own needs, assert yourself and retain your power. Be brave and gentle and don't have to be afraid of others. This card is like, couldn't be any better. It's again, respect yourself and know that you're respected by others. So this is all about, again, reminding you that you're safe as long as you are in your power and you don't give up your power. Don't abandon yourself, is what Spirit says. I'm going to leave that there. You let me know how you resonated. Again, and if you like the video, hype it. Hype the video. Like it. Subscribe. Do all that good stuff. It's good karma. And it'll come back to you. All right. Bye-bye.